Okay, everybody, we are going to discuss about the mesh analysis. This is the another form of the KVL. Okay, so write down the heavy heading. Okay, mesh analysis. Okay, so what is mesh? You know that a mesh is defined as a loop which does not contain any other loop within it. So if you consider a circuit like this, then it is clear to you that how a mesh or how a loop can be considered. So loop and mesh both are nothing but a closed circuit, closed path, but there is a fundamental difference between the mesh and the loop. That is, the mesh cannot contain any other loop within it. That is, a mesh is unique. If it is a mesh 1, it is a mesh 2, it is also a loop, and this is also, if you consider the entire circuit, then this is also a loop, because all three are the closed path. So every loop is a mesh, but every mesh is not a loop. Okay, so if we if we consider the mesh analysis, then there is some criteria. That is that the mesh analysis is applicable. It is applicable only planar network. What does a planar network means? A planar network is nothing but a network which is drawn in a plane surface. That is, if you consider this circuit as another example, then you can easily understand what is the planar circuit and what is the three-dimensional circuit. Okay, so here this thing is nothing but lie over a plane, because it is a two-dimensional. Here it is a lump type, so it is not a two-dimensional. It is obviously a non-planar circuit. So we cannot use this mesh analysis to a non-planar circuit. So if when we can use the mesh analysis, if a network has large number of mesh, large number of voltage source, then we can apply the mesh analysis, because it is very useful to use mesh analysis. Okay, so it is nothing but a Kirchhoff's voltage law. In terms of the unknown mesh current, we have to find the if we want to find out the unknown mesh current, then we should apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law, the KVL. So what is the rule, means what is the steps we have to follow to analyze a mesh? That is the loop. The steps are, first identify the mesh, and according to that we can write a number. Okay, and assign a direction to it and assign an unknown current in each mesh. Assign a direction and also assign an unknown current in each mesh. In the previous KVL video, I have discussed that KVL, but there we should take some current away from a voltage source or multiple voltage source, and then we can assign a path, or depending upon the current direction or the path direction, we can we can give the polarity of a potential difference, potential drop or gain across the resistor and across the battery. Okay, but here the direction of the current and direction of the mesh always same. So it is easy to find it, to write the equation. So, and second thing we have to know, that is the assign the polarity for voltage across all branch. You have to assign the polarity of the voltage, that is the plus or minus. Third one is, that is apply KVL. KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law, around the mesh and use Ohm's law to express the branch voltage, because we have to find out the voltage across each and every branch, and we know that the summation of the all the potential across a closed loop is always 0. Then you can get some equation, and that is the if there is a 3 or 4 or 2 unknown currents, we are giving or assigning to the mesh different meshes, then according to that we can get that amount of that number of simultaneous equation, and then we can solve that equation to get the I1, I2, IT on all these things. Okay, if we get I, then we can easily find out the V across any resistor. If we get V, then we can determine the I by V by R. Okay, now we have to discuss a generalized form of a mesh analysis. This is very important, and I hope that you people did not get this thing into the other books. Okay, so you can write down the heading, that is the generalized form to determine the mesh current or voltage. Okay, so we are going to take one example and we can generalize that example. This is a voltage source. Here we can take one R. Here you can take one voltage source. Then again another R should be connected over here, another R should be connected over here, and here another R. Okay, now you should make the circuit more complicated. One voltage source and one resistance are connected in series. Okay, so if you take this as V1, this is as V2, this is as V3, and these resistances become R1, this is R2, this is R3, this is R4, and this is R5. So we have to give the voltages, okay, and the resistance name. Okay, now what should we do? First step, we have to assign the mesh, that is this is a mesh 1, this is a mesh 2, this is a mesh 3. So now we should give the current across, assign the current across the mesh. Okay, so now we should give, if we consider this as mesh 1, this is as mesh 2, and this is as mesh 3, then the direction of current, we can take direction of current that I1 is flowing through it, and here, that is in this mesh, I2 is flowing, I2, and in this mesh I3 is flowing. Okay, now we can apply the KVL. So first you have to write apply KVL at M1 mesh 1. Okay, so what will be the equation? Is the V1, because if you see that the direction of the current, the path is the along the and clockwise. Okay, so if you take it clockwise, then you see that the voltage is the path is from lower potential to higher potential. The V1 makes positive, then the direction of the current and the direction of the path are in the same side, so the voltage drop, potential drop across resistance is negative. So minus R1 into I1 minus I2. This I1 minus this, because in this resistance you see that the net current flowing through this R1 is, if the I1 current is flowing through in this direction and I2 current is flowing through R1 in this direction, so I1 becomes in this direction and I2 become in this direction. So the net current is I1 minus I2 when you consider this mesh 1, that you have to give the preference of the I1, that is the I1 is greater than I2, so I1 minus I2 become the net current flowing through the resistance R1. So R1 into I1 minus I2 be the current, minus again minus, because the direction of the current and the direction of the path is same, so the voltage drop across R2 is negative, minus R2, the net current I1 is flowing through this direction and I3 is flowing in this direction. So I1 and I3 both are in opposite side, and making the preference to the I1, it becomes I1 minus I3 is the net current flowing through this R3. So this is your first equation, which is equal to 0. The potential drop across any branches is, the summation of the potential drop across any branch is 0. So you can say that if you solve this equation, so it becomes V1 minus I1 R1 plus I2 R1 minus I1 R2 plus R2 I3 equal to 0. So taking I1 and I2 in the means we have to separate I1 and I2, so R1 plus R2 into I1 minus R1 I2 minus R2 I3 is equal to V1. Okay, it is equal to V1. This is the equation 1. Now what is the equation 2? The apply KVL at mesh 2. What is the equation? It becomes that V2, the polarity is from lower to higher, so it is the potential gain. So V2 minus I2R3 minus R4 into I2 minus I3. So I2 is in this direction and I3 should be in this direction. So the net current will be I2 minus I3, giving the preference to the I2 as we are considering the mesh 2. So this becomes this, and then minus R1 into, so now we are giving the preference to the I2. Okay, minus R1 into I2 minus I1. The net current flowing through is I2 minus I1. Okay, once when you consider the mesh 1, then I1 gets preference. When I2 you consider mesh 2, then I2 gets preference. Okay, so this is the equal to 0. So if you solve it, okay, then minus R1 I1 plus R1 plus R2 plus R3, it becomes R3, R1 plus R3 plus R4 into I2 minus R4 into I3 is equal to 0. This is equation 2. Sorry, not 0, it becomes V2. It becomes V2 is there, V2. This is equation 2. Now apply KVL at mesh 3. What is the equation for mesh 3? Again, this is the going to the lower potential to higher potential, so it become V3 minus R2, direction of the current and direction of the path is same, R2 into I3 minus I1, the net current is I3 minus I1. Okay, now minus R4 into I3 minus I2 minus R5 I3 is equal to 0. So if we solve this, we distinguish the R1, R2, I1, I2, I3, then it becomes minus R2 into I1 minus R4 into I2 plus R2 plus R4 plus R5 into I3, it becomes V3. So you can write, or you can get 3 simultaneous equations. So by this we can solve this. From these 3 equations, if we solve this, then we can get the V1, V2, V3, or V1, V2, V3 is given, the I1, I2, I3, and depending upon the I1, I2, I3, we can get the potential drop or potential gain across any one of the resistor. So equation 1, 2, 3, if we make a matrix of equation 1, 2 and 3, then it becomes taking I1, I2, I3 and V1, V2, V3, we are forming the equation, and V1, V2, V3 are in the right side of the equation, and the I1, I2, I3 are the left side of the equation. That's why we are making the matrix like this. Okay, so first of all, for equation 1, along with R1 it is I1, it is R, it becomes R1, I think, R1. So R1 plus R2. So along I2 it becomes minus R1, and it becomes minus R2. Okay, if you consider the second equation, so along with I1 it becomes minus R1, the resistance along with the I2 becomes R1 plus R3 plus R4. Okay, and along with the I3 becomes minus R4. Now if you consider the equation 3, it becomes minus R2, along with R2 it becomes I2, it becomes minus R4, and along with the I3 it becomes R2 plus R4 plus R5. This is the matrix form. Here we can write I1 I2 and I3, and in this left hand side there are the voltage, there is the V1, the V2 and V3. So this is the matrix form of a Kirchhoff's. If we apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law along a mesh, in it is the generalized equation, generalized form of matrix form, and these are the generalized equation if you solve it by KVL, if you analyze the maze by KVL. Now the matrices we can write it like this. If we take an example in the next slide, then you can get much better idea what is happening to this circuit, to any circuit. How can you apply this matrix form? So set R1 plus R2, it become R11, it becomes R12, it becomes R13, it becomes R21, R22, R23, it becomes R31, R32, R33. The current becomes same, I1, it is I2, this is I3, this is V1, this is V2, this is V3. Okay, now this is the general form, this is nothing but the general form, matrix form of a mesh analysis. There are three meshes having three voltage source. There are so many unknown resistances associated with that, so with that each and every mesh, and if you solve this in general form, then the equation become the equation, the matrix from this mesh analysis become like this. Okay, now what is the R1, R2, R3, all these things? So R11, it is the self resistance or sum of R in mesh 1. Okay, R12 is equal to R21. Why it is R12 is equal to R21? Because these are the mutual resistance, or sum of all R in M1 and M2. What is about this R13 is equal to R31? These are nothing but the mutual resistance or sum of all R in M1 and M3. Okay, so what is about taking a next page, what is about R22? It is the self resistance or sum of R in mesh 2. According R33 is the self resistance or sum of R in M3, and R23 become the R32, nothing but the mutual R or sum of all R in mesh 2 and mesh 3. So again we consider the previous slide. So R11 is the self resistance of the sum of the resistance mesh 1. But this is the mesh 1. So sum of the resistance R1 and R2. R12 is equal to 21 is equal to mutual resistance of sum or sum of all R in M1 and M2. So R1 is the mutual resistance, which is, if there are two resistances are present mutually. Why it is mutual? Because this resistance is common for this M1 and M2 also. That's why it is called the mutual resistance. So this mutual resistance is, as it is common for 1 and 2. If there are two resistances, if R6 is there, then these become R1 plus R6. R12 is equal to R21 is equal to R1 plus R6. Then according to that, R13 and R31 are the R13 and R31 are the mutual resistance of the mesh 1 and 3. This is mesh 1, this is mesh 3. So R2 is the mutual resistances of R1 and R3. Why it is minus? Because they are the mutual resistance. Okay, that's why we are taking minus. According to that, I think you got this idea that R22 is the self resistance. R22 is the self resistance of the sum of the resistance in the mesh 2, that is the R3 plus R4 plus R1, so R1 plus R3 plus R4, and R33 is the sum of the resistances as in mesh 3, that is the R2 plus R4 plus R5, and R23 or R32 is the R23 or R32 is the mutual resistance which is belongs to the mesh 2 and the mesh 3. So here is R4. R4 is present in the as a mutual resistance in mesh 2 and the mesh 3. So if you take one example, then it is easy to determine how you can solve the equation. So that maybe the analytical or classical method. Classical method means you are getting some simultaneous equation, then you can solve the simultaneous equation in any way. You can use Cramer's rule, or you can use this metric form to make a circuit to make the equations more easily. That is, this matrix form is used in the competitive examination, that is in the gate level examination, if you want to solve it with the short time. Okay, wait. So taking an example, this is a resistance, another resistance, another resistance. Here one 10 volt voltage source is there, DC voltage source obviously. Here another voltage source, another 2 ohm resistance are connected, or it is another resistance, and another battery is connected like this. Here also another resistances. Okay, what is the value of the voltage sources? It is the 10 volt, it is the 5 volt, it becomes the 20 volt. Okay, what are the value of this resistance? This is the 1 ohm, this is the 2 ohm, this is the 3 ohm, this is the 6 ohm, this becomes 5 ohm, and this becomes 4 ohm. Now first of all you have to find the KVL equation. So taking this as mesh 1, we can give a current with I1. Taking this as mesh 2, we can give the current I2 is like this, and taking it as mesh 3, we can circulate a current, that is the I3. So this becomes mesh 3, this becomes mesh 2, and this becomes mesh 1. This is our preliminary work. We have to do it in the first step of the solving the equation. Okay, now write down, assuming the currents are rotate clockwise along all the meshes. all the currents are clockwise. Now apply KVL. First KVL at mesh 1. What is the equation? It is not elaborately explained, because I think you know how you give the polarity of the voltage and the voltage polarity and the potential drop across the resistances. Minus 1 into I1 minus 3 into I1 minus I2 minus 6 into I1 minus I3 0. If you solve it, you get that 10 I1 minus 3 I2 minus 6 I3 is equal to 10. This is equation 1. Now write KVL equation at node 2. At M2 apply KVL. Okay, so what is the equation? It becomes, you see that here the voltage polarity is the current is flowing from the higher to lower, so there is a voltage drop. So starting from here, it is minus 3 into I2 minus I1 minus 2 into I2 minus 5 is equal to 0. So minus 3 I1 plus 10 I2 is equal to 5. This is equation 2. Now apply KVL at 3 M3. What is the equation? It is starting from this minus 6 into I3 minus I1 minus, it becomes plus 5. Here you see that clockwise direction, the negative to positive becomes plus 5 minus 4 into I3 plus 20, negative to positive is equal to 0. So if you arrange this, then it becomes minus 6 I1 plus 10 I3 is equal to 25. Okay, now you can solve these three simultaneous equations and you can get the value of I1, I2 and the I3. But how you can from 1, 2 and 3, how you can arrange the matrix? So if the matrix you want to solve by the matrix, or you can write the matrix, the matrix become, so here it is a R11. Okay, so if you go to the previous page, it is R11, R12 and R13. Okay, so R11 is what? It is the sum of the resistances in the mesh 1. You see that R1 is self resistance, or the sum of the resistance is M1. So what is in M1? The sum of the resistance 1, 3 and 6. So 1 plus 3 plus 6 is equal to what? 1 plus 3 plus 6 is equal to 10. So R11 become sum of R in mesh 1, it becomes 1 plus 3 plus 6 is 10. So you can write R11 as 10. Now what is about the R12? 12 is the R1 to become the mutual resistance or common to the mesh 1 and 2. Mutual R common to M1 and M2. Okay, that is, it is only 3 is common in the 1 and 2, and you see that in the R1112 it becomes minus minus. So what is the value of this? This is minus 3. Now it is R13. What is R13? R13 is nothing but the mutual resistance, mutual R common to M1 and M3, R13 M1 and M3. So mesh 1 and mesh 3 only 6 is common, and there in the previous you see that it is also minus, there is also minus sign, it becomes minus 6. Okay, is it minus 6? Now what is the value, what is the 2 1, what is 2 1? R12 and 21 become R12 and R21 become same, so it becomes minus 3, because R12 it is nothing but the, you change the color, is nothing but the R21, it is nothing but the R31. So here 2 1 becomes minus 3, it is becomes minus 6. So this is become minus 3. Here R22 is what? R22 is the sum of the resistance in the mesh 2. Okay, R22 is what? R22 is the sum of the resistance in the mesh 2. That is the R22 become 2 plus 3 plus 5 is nothing but the 10. So R22 become 10 ohm. So it becomes 10. So what is about the R23? R23 is the resistance which is associated with the 2 and 3, but there no resistance are there in the common for in 2 and 3, so it becomes 0. Now what is the 3 1? 3 1 is nothing but the minus 6. Okay, R1 is equal to R3 minus 6. What is about the 3 2? 3 2 is the resistance which is common to the 3 and 2, it becomes 0. And what is about the R33? R33 is the sum of the resistance in the mesh 3, that is 6 plus 4 is equal to R33 is equal to this 6 and this 4, 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. So this is 10. Now I can erase it, because I have to write I1, I2 and I3. Now we have to write down I1, I2 and I3 equation, I1, I2 and I3. So what is the I1? What is the value of I1 over here? It is, we have to, I1, I2, I3 is unknown, because we have to find the I1, I2 and I3, because by the KVL we have to find out the current through each loop, each mesh, and depending upon that I1, I2, I3 we can find any potential drop or gain across any passive element. Now what is V1? V1 is 10. So if you take V1 over here, V1 becomes 10. What is about V2? V2 becomes, it becomes minus 5, I think, minus 5, and V3 becomes 25. So you get the equation, and then you can easily solve this. Okay, so by this video you can get the generalized form of a KVL which has 3 mesh, the 4 mesh, 5 mesh you can apply according to that. And if you solve these equations, then as V1 is equal to 10 volt, V1 is equal to 10, V2 is equal to minus 5, and V3 is equal to 25. And if you solve this, then you can get that I1, you can make it to your home, you can solve it to your home. I1 becomes 4.27 ampere, I2 becomes 0.78 ampere, and I3 becomes 5.06 ampere. Okay, so if you ask that what is the current across 5 ohm, so current across 5 ohm is, this is the nothing but the I2 is nothing but a 0.78 ampere. What is the current through the 3 ohm resistance? It is if I1 is 4.27 and I2 is 7.78, so I2 is have the higher magnitude. So the current flowing through it is through 3 ohm resistance is 4.27 minus 0.78, it becomes 3.5 around it. Okay, what is the current flowing through the 6 ohm resistance? It is I1 minus I3 or I3 minus I1. So if it is I1 minus I3, it becomes 4.727 minus 5.06, it becomes minus. As if it is minus, then the direction of the current become the reverse. So what is the potential drop across this 5 ohm resistance? That is the current I2 into 5, that is I2 is 0.78 into 5, it becomes 3.5 into 3.9. 3.9 volt is the voltage drop across 5 ohm resistance. Like this you can solve anything in a circuit. In a what kind of circuit? It is a planar circuit. So this is the generalized form of the KVL, that is the mesh analysis we have discussed, and in the previous video I also discussed about the nodal analysis. So in the next video I will solve 3 or more numerical on the KVL, and you should keep watch this video, because the CA3, CA4, CA1, all the class continuous assessment was depending upon these videos and these numericals. Okay, so keep this video watching, and if possible is do subscribe. Okay, bye.